The Lazy Leader, written and voiced by Governor Flo. Introduction: A Soft Revolution. This isn't just an audiobook. This is your permission slip. To stop, to soften, to win without the wounds. Because here's the real flex. Laziness was never the enemy. Burnout is. We've been lied to, sold the gospel of hustle, baptized in hard work, and told that rest was for the weak. But what if I told you? The ones who win the most aren't working the hardest. They're working the lightest, the quietest, the most strategically lazy. This is not about doing nothing. It's about doing less, but with more precision. It's about letting your energy do the talking before your mouth even opens. It's about trusting that soft is smart, and ease is earned by those who stop chasing. You weren't born to grind. You were born to glide. In this Temple of Flow transmission, we're going to dismantle the myth that success is earned only through exhaustion. We're going to talk nervous systems, quantum shortcuts, feminine energetics, and how to train your reality to serve you while you rest. This is for the overachiever whose soul is tired but still golden, the one who knows there has to be another way, an easier way, a lazy way, but in the most sacred, strategic sense. You're not lazy, you're misaligned. You're burnt out from fighting systems you were never meant to survive. You were meant to transform. And baby, transformation doesn't always come with sweat. Sometimes it comes with stillness, with naps, with knowing when not to respond, when to do nothing, and let everything rearrange itself around your new frequency. This isn't self-help. This is self-surrender, and it's about to change your entire playbook. So take a breath, let your shoulders drop, unclench your jaw, and let the lazy magic begin. Welcome to the temple. Welcome to the truth. This is how to win the lazy way. Chapter 1: The Lie of Hard Work. Let's start with a soft slap of truth. Hard work isn't high and mighty. It's just familiar. You've been taught since you were old enough to carry a backpack that working hard equals being worthy, that sweating is sacred, that struggle is character, that sleep is a luxury, and burnout is a badge. But let me ask you something. If hard work were the answer, why are the people who work the hardest the least free? Why is the janitor exhausted and the CEO golfing? Why do single moms work double shifts and still worry about gas money, while some folks post just close the deal selfies from yachts they don't even drive? The truth is, we've been conditioned to believe effort equals value. But it's not effort that builds empires. It's energy. It's vision. It's precision. The hustle culture is a spell, a beautifully packaged trap that convinces you to overperform in systems designed to underpay you. Work hard, they said, but nobody told you how much of you that would cost. Now listen, this isn't me saying never grind. There are seasons for grit, but it's not meant to be your identity. It's not your personality. It's a tool, and tools have to be put down sometimes. We live in a world where capitalism worships exhaustion, where saying, "I'm busy," earns you more respect than saying, "I'm balanced," where skipping lunch makes you look committed and canceling for rest makes you look flaky. You weren't born for that. You weren't born to chase peace. You were born to become it. But you can't become what you won't slow down to meet. Your brain, your precious command center, wasn't made for nonstop grind. Cognitive fatigue sets in after about 3 to 4 hours of deep focus. After that, you're running on fumes, habit, and caffeine. Your prefrontal cortex, the part that handles decision-making, creativity, and emotional regulation, goes offline under chronic stress. So while you're grinding, your actual ability to solve problems and move wisely is trash. Your body knows what your boss ignores. Rest recalibrates. Slowness sharpens. Ever wonder why your best ideas come in the shower, in the car, during a nap? Because flow doesn't happen in force. It happens in safety, in surrender. The most powerful people in the room, they're not always the loudest. They're the ones who don't flinch under pressure because they're not addicted to proving their worth. Let me tell you about Layla, a powerhouse graphic designer, single mom, side hustle queen. She was working 12-hour days trying to build her brand, manage her household, and stay on. She looked successful on the outside. But inside, Sis was crumbling. Her turning point came one night at 2:17 a.m. Laptop on her lap, eyes burning, trying to finish client edits. Her 5-year-old wandered in, half asleep, and whispered, "Mommy, why are you always working, even in the dark?" Whew, that cracked her open. She realized she was building a brand, but not a life. She was chasing visibility, but losing vision. So she shifted, took fewer clients, charged more, built better systems, asked for help. Started her morning slow, tea, breath work, no phone. And guess what? She made more money, had more joy, and her son? He started calling her Happy Mommy. She won by working less but smarter. That's the lazy way, but not lazy like careless, lazy like divine strategy, like choosing ease because you finally believe you deserve it. So before we move on, I want you to ask yourself something and be real about it. Are you working hard, or are you just afraid to stop? Let that sink in, because in Chapter 2, we're talking about what actually builds results: energy, alignment, and the quantum field. You ready? Or better yet, are you willing to stop forcing and start receiving? Chapter 2: The Energetics of Ease. Ease is not the absence of effort, it's the presence of alignment. But see, ease got a bad rep. We were told if it's easy, it's not valuable. If it's flowing, you must have cheated. If it didn't damn near kill you, it doesn't count. But what if the things meant for you weren't supposed to break you first? What if the real flex was doing less and receiving more? Let's talk energy. You are not just muscle and bone and inboxes. You are frequency. You are a waveform. You are vibration in motion. And babe, you don't attract what you chase, you attract what you are. When you are burnt out, bitter, and buzzed off 3 cups of anxiety disguised as ambition, what you call hard work is often just resistance in disguise. You're pushing a boulder uphill that was never yours to carry. Science says your body is an electromagnetic field. Your heart puts out a signal, yes, like a Wi-Fi router, stronger than your brain. So when you move in resentment, your heart signal, static. When you grind in fear, your field, jammed. The nervous system doesn't lie. It says I'm safe or I'm surviving. And when you're always surviving, you block creativity, connection, and clarity. You block miracles. Let me break it down for the logical minds. When you're relaxed, your brain enters alpha and theta states, the magic zones. That's where ideas flow. That's where intuition speaks. That's where quantum leaping begins. You know what doesn't happen in those states? Checking email 47 times an hour, or convincing everyone on Instagram you're booked and busy. Let's look at nature, the original blueprint. Does the ocean hustle to hit the shore? Nah, it just flows. Does a flower grind to bloom? Nope, it just follows the sun. But you, babe, you beautiful, overachieving soul, you've been running from softness like it's a trap. When softness is the sauce. Ease is an amplifier. It doesn't mean you're doing nothing. It means what you do is potent, intentional, magnetic. That one aligned email will do more than 17 cold calls. That one soul-rested idea will open more doors than 6 hours of forced brainstorming. That one peaceful no will save you from 10 resentment-filled yeses. Let me tell you about Jasmine. She was that girl. Excel sheets, 5 a.m. workouts, 2 side hustles, podcast in the car, Pinterest vision board, and affirmations on the mirror. But her money stayed funny. Her back stayed tense. Her joy? Playing hide and seek. She found Temple of Flow one night after Googling how to stop being tired of being tired. She sat with one line. Ease is not laziness, it's literacy in your own energy. Jasmine did something radical. She stopped chasing. She started listening. She dropped several projects, took a 2-week rest, booked a solo cabin stay, did breath work, cried, did nothing, remembered her worth. That next month, she got her biggest client, a dream collab fell in her lap, and for the first time in years, she slept like a child. That wasn't a coincidence. That was coherence, mind, body, spirit, and field. When you're in flow, the universe bends to grace you. Ease is not avoidance, it's alignment, and alignment is the new hustle. So ask yourself, what are you forcing right now? What's draining you that you're pretending is just part of the grind? What would happen if you gave yourself permission to stop? In the next chapter, we're diving into the myth of motivation and why chasing inspiration is keeping you stuck. Because lazy people don't wait to feel like it, they build lives that don't require escaping. You ready? Let's flow. Chapter 3: The Myth of Motivation. You were never lazy. You were conditioned. From the moment you could walk, the world trained you to move, not with joy, not with intention, but with urgency, pressure, and guilt. Work hard, stay busy, keep grinding, no rest for the wicked, all of it. A spell, a loud collective hypnosis that said, if you're not constantly doing, you're failing. But let's break that spell right here. Because motivation, as sold by society, is a trippy trap. It tells you your worth is measured by output. That success is for the disciplined few who 5 a.m. themselves into a grave. That if you don't feel like doing it, you're weak. Let's talk about it, the hustle drug. Motivational culture is addictive because it makes you feel temporarily powerful but permanently drained. It's that hit of dopamine from a to-do list, the 3 cups of coffee before noon, the fake high of watching a motivational YouTube video, then crashing back into burnout by Thursday. Motivation is a short-term solution for a long-term misalignment. It's not sustainable. It's not sovereign. It's not how nature works. You've never seen a rose hustle to bloom. You've never seen a tree need an alarm clock to grow. You too are a being of rhythm, not a robot. So when your body says rest, but your brain says you should be doing more, you are experiencing a split, a fracture between truth and programming. And that split is where suffering grows. The psychology behind it, here's what most self-help books won't tell you. Your brain is not wired to thrive on pressure. It's wired to thrive on safety, connection, and meaning. When you're chasing goals from fear, fear of falling behind, fear of being judged, fear of not being enough, your body moves into a stress response. Cortisol floods your system. Your creative centers shut down. You become more reactive, less intuitive. You're not lazy. You're tired of being in survival mode. Your nervous system is overstimulated and undernourished. And that's not a mindset issue. That's a biological response to being in a world that glorifies exhaustion and calls it success. The real scam? Motivation has become a substitute for self-trust. We've been taught to wait for inspiration, or discipline, or a coach yelling at us to finally get up and take action, instead of building a life so in flow that action becomes natural. Let me say that again. You don't need more motivation. You need a life that doesn't require you to betray yourself to succeed. Let's kill the myth. Because real power isn't about pushing through. It's about knowing when to pause, when to receive, when to align. It's about designing your life from the inside out, not chasing it from the outside in. Ease is not laziness. Ease is energetic intelligence. It's the knowing that when you work in flow with your energy, your desires chase you. Opportunities come not because you chase them, but because your frequency made you a match. Motivation asks you to force. Ease asks you to align. Which one feels more like freedom? Malik was a 35-year-old father of two, working 60-hour weeks as a manager in a retail chain. He was motivated. Always first in, last to leave. On paper, he was a success story. But inside, he was numb. His creativity was gone. His kids barely saw him. He had chronic back pain and insomnia that no therapist or doctor could fix. Until one day, he didn't show up to work. Not out of rebellion, his body literally stopped him. Hospital visit, total nervous breakdown. That was his turning point. Not a motivational quote, not a productivity hack. A pause. 6 months later, Malik's running his own online consultancy, working 20 hours a week, making more money than ever, and coaching other dads on how to break out of the hustle matrix. What changed? He stopped chasing motivation. He started following alignment. But the intervention? A pause, a reset, removing yourself from the race, stepping out of the matrix. Here's a mini ritual. Next time you hear your brain say, "You should be doing more," answer with this. Or, "I could do less and attract more." What would that feel like? Then sit and let the answer rise. Motivation is what they sold you to keep you moving. Alignment is what your soul whispers to help you arrive. Stay in flow. Chapter 4. The Quantum Shortcut. Everything is energy, not effort. Let's make one thing clear. Hard work is not the hero of this story. Energy is. You don't need more willpower. You need better Wi-Fi. To the quantum field. You are not here to push through time and space like a mule with a vision board. You are here to collapse timelines, to bend reality with belief, to shift outcomes with alignment, to attract results through resonance. Because the truth is, energy moves faster than effort ever could. Action versus alignment. Let's break this down with love. You can send 1,000 emails from misalignment and get nothing but crickets. Or you can post one message in flow with full body truth and clean intention, and it hits, it lands, it magnetizes, it calls in everything because it's charged with coherence. That's alignment. Alignment isn't passive, it's precision. It's doing the right thing at the right time with the right energy. Aligned laziness is still exactness. It just moves like honey, not hustle. The physics of flow. Let's get a little quantum. According to quantum mechanics, everything is vibration. Your thoughts, vibration. Your emotions, frequency. Your actions, just energy in motion. And here's where it gets juicy. The quantum field responds not to your grind, but to your frequency. It doesn't care how hard you try. It cares how aligned you are. When your thoughts, beliefs, emotions, and nervous system are congruent, you send a clear signal. And that signal? It collapses probabilities into reality. This is not woo-woo. It's waveform collapse. You don't manifest by working harder. You manifest by becoming a vibrational match. Now, here's the kicker. Most people are energetically blocked, not because they're lazy, but because their beliefs are split. They say they want the million-dollar business, but deep down they believe money only comes through struggle. They say they want love, but their nervous system flinches at intimacy. They say they want freedom, but they keep recreating busyness, chaos, and burnout. This mismatch creates noise in the field. Your frequency becomes staticky, so the quantum can't deliver. Lazy leaping requires belief hygiene. You have to clear the noise, clean the signal, and transmit your truth with zero apology. Real-life lazy leaps. Let me tell you about Camille. Camille quit her corporate job not because she had a backup plan, but because her soul screamed, "Not this!" She took 3 months off, rested, traveled, made no money. Her family panicked. Her ex called her irresponsible. But Camille didn't move from fear. She moved from flow. Then one day, while journaling in a hammock, she had a download for a service that combined brand strategy with intuitive healing. She made a Canva graphic, posted it once. That offer made her $8,000 in 3 days. She didn't build a funnel. She didn't do 37 reels a week. She simply moved when it was time from who she really was. That's a quantum shortcut. Alignment is accuracy. Being lazy in this new world doesn't mean being passive. It means being energetically accurate. It means pausing before action so you don't waste energy. It means listening to your intuition more than your planner. It means doing less better. Because when you're in alignment, you don't chase outcomes, you command them with calm clarity. The universe is not waiting for you to work harder. It's waiting for you to believe more clearly. Next up, a flow break to help align your mind and body with the new information it's receiving. I want you to close your eyes and listen to my voice. Breathe in, Feel your shoulders drop. Breathe out. Let go of the timeline that doesn't belong to you. You are not lazy. You are tuning in. You are learning to listen before you move, to charge up before you create, to be the match before you chase the thing. Now repeat this slowly, softly, like you're talking to your future self. My rest is productive. My pause is potent. My stillness is a strategy. I do less and receive more. Because I'm not here to force. I'm here to flow. You're doing enough. Now let it come to you. Stay in flow. Chapter 5, The Rest Revolution. Let's get this straight. Rest is not a reward. It's not something you earn after burnout, or something you negotiate with guilt after a productive week. Rest is a revolution, a reclamation, a prominent reminder that you, my love, were never built to grind like a machine. You were built to flow like a river. But let's keep it real. We've been raised in a world that glamorizes exhaustion, that praises burnout like it's a golden tiara, that claps for the overachiever, the overgiver, the overworked father who's running on caffeine, drug breaks, and fumes. That's not divine, that's delusion. And yet, somewhere deep in your bones, you know this already. That still small voice inside you has been whispering, I'm tired of being tired. I'm done glorifying the hustle. There's got to be another way. And there is. It's called the rest revolution. And baby, it's not just about naps and vacations. It's about nervous system sovereignty. The science of stillness. Let's hit a little neuroscience for the people in the back. Your nervous system has two modes: sympathetic, fight or flight, parasympathetic, rest and repair. Most of us are stuck in that sympathetic mode, wired, edgy, tapped into chaos and cortisol. But healing, clarity, creative downloads, they live in the parasympathetic. They happen after you exhale, when your shoulders finally unclench, when your mind is no longer sprinting to fix everything. So when you rest, truly rest, real God-given rest, you're not being lazy, you're letting your body enter genius mode. That's not weakness, that's high-level strategy. You've been told rest is laziness, that if you're not constantly doing, you're falling behind. But here's the truth. Most people are moving fast, in the wrong direction. Doing more doesn't mean you're doing well. Running harder doesn't mean you're winning. Men have been taught from young to rush, to race, to win, to make it happen, but they weren't provided with the proper foundation to win. Rest is essential for the masculine energy, as burnout is more frequent and very much normalized. And for women, especially women of hardship, rest is even more radical, because society told you to be strong, be helpful, be everything for everyone else. But what if strength is learning to sit down, to stop over-explaining, to stop managing everybody's chaos, learning to thrive in your femininity? What if sacred rest is how we reset the collective? This is how rest becomes power. You have a single mom, 2 jobs, no time, and she wears busy like a crown. What will happen is her body will break down before her dreams come around. But if she started with 5 minutes of silence a day, no phone, no planning, just her breath, eventually 5 will turn into 15, and in that space, ideas will start flowing. I call that the divine deposit, just the seed, but soon a grand apple tree. Solutions will come easily. She'll start a business from her kitchen table and replace both jobs in under a year. How? Because rest gave her access to divine ideas she couldn't hear when she was rushing. That's the magic of resting on purpose. It opens portals. Ask yourself, where am I still proving instead of being? When did I start believing that ease meant I wasn't trying hard enough? Who benefits from my staying exhausted? You see, rest isn't passive, it's powerful. It's how you exit the rat race and enter your rhythm. You're not here to compete, you're here to calibrate, to move like medicine, to win the lazy way. So go ahead, take the nap, delay the call, close the laptop, not because you're slacking, but because you're strategic. The world will try to rush you. Don't let it. You're not a machine, you're a miracle. And miracles, babe, move in divine timing. Chapter 6, The Lazy Leader. Let's make one thing real clear. Lazy doesn't mean useless. Lazy means leveraged. And babe, if you've been called lazy your whole life, welcome to the rebrand. This chapter is for the women who lead with grace, not grind. The ones who command attention without yelling. The ones who build empires from the bathtub and shift lives from the lounge chair. This is for the men who desire passions over stress, harmony over discord. The men who are leaders of legacy, not followers of society. Men who desire to establish foundations of creativity instead of grinding themselves into humility. This isn't about doing nothing. It's about doing only what matters, only what's aligned, only what moves the needle in quantum leaps, not micro misery. Let's talk about what it means to be a lazy leader. In the old world, leadership looked like control, management, supervision, constant correction. And don't get it twisted, that world still exists, but it's tired, worn out, rigid. Enter the lazy leader. She doesn't chase, she calibrates. She doesn't scream, she signals. She doesn't run a team, she builds a field. And here's what's wild. People still show up for her. They follow, they contribute, they bloom. Because she creates space, not pressure. She attracts, not with force, but with frequency. Lazy leadership is resonance over rules, energy over ego, magnetic over manipulative, and rest over rigidity. Let's get nerdy for a sec. There's a phenomenon in neuroscience called neural entrainment. Basically, when two people interact, the one with the more regulated nervous system entrains the other. So what does that mean? If you're a calm, grounded, rested presence, your energy leads the room. People subconsciously sync with you. You become the thermostat, not the thermometer. In other words, the most rested woman in the room is the most powerful. That's not philosophy, that's physics. The rituals of a lazy leader. So, if we are to embody the lazy leader, we must understand how they move. Men are natural leaders and doers, but sometimes this can spiral into overdoing or overfixing. But the lazy leader always makes decisions from a resource-rich place, not a reactive one. He sets the tone, then steps back because micromanagement is a trauma response. He is in control because he is well-rested and grounded, enabling him to dwell in gratitude and lead with compassion. He embraces emotional intelligence and prioritizes pleasure because pleasure keeps him young and vibrant. He embodies clarity because people don't follow chaos, they follow coherence. Lazy leaders don't operate from scarcity. They understand something deeper. Time is not your currency. Energy is. So they guard it like treasure. They don't network, they nurture. And that's where the power lives. You want to know the secret? The world is tired of being told what to do. They're craving someone who embodies what's possible. Someone who shows that rest and richness aren't opposites. Someone who walks slowly, speaks calmly, and still shakes the room. That's you. So no, don't tighten up, don't get louder, don't overperform. Relax deeper, soften harder, lead the lazy way. Journal with me. Where am I still performing leadership instead of living it? What do I actually want my influence to feel like? What could I create if I let go of control? And more importantly, what could I lead if I stopped leading with exhaustion? Because listen, your softness is a strategy, your stillness is a signal, and your laziness, that's the lighthouse calling the real ones home. Let the world watch you build slow and bold and rested. Let them be confused. Then let them be inspired. Because the lazy leader always wins. Chapter 7. The Hustle Scam. Let's cut through the noise. You weren't born to be tired all the time. You weren't designed to be a machine with a heart. And you sure as hell didn't come here just to chase paychecks, deadlines, and digital applause. Let me break it down gently. Or not. Hustle is the real scam. Not work, not discipline, not effort, but hustle, the compulsive grind. The sleep when you're dead mentality. The belief that exhaustion equals excellence. Nah, that's survival mode in a Gucci belt. Hustle is the mask worn by the wounded. Most of what we call hard work is just unhealed fear in motion. Fear of not being enough, fear of being replaced, fear of resting and becoming irrelevant. So we move fast, we overcommit, we stack achievements like armor. We call it ambition, but most days it's just anxiety with good branding. You don't need another to-do list. You need a nervous system that knows peace. Because here's the truth. You can't manifest miracles while micromanaging survival. Let's go deeper. Who taught you that rest was weakness? That ease mean laziness? That if it wasn't painful, it wasn't powerful? Probably the same people who benefit from your burnout. The same systems that feed on your overextension. The same structures that call you lazy when you stop playing their game. But listen closely. The most successful people aren't working harder than you. They're just working from a different frequency. And frequency? It's not about force. It's about flow. Real power doesn't prove, it pulls. The real ones, the ones living free, they move differently. They say no more than they say yes. They create from rest, not rush. They value stillness as much as strategy. They're not sprinting, they're sourced. They're not overwhelmed, they're orchestrated. They're not overworking, they're aligned. You feel the difference, don't you? One leaves you depleted, the other, it makes you magnetic. Let go of the grind and grab the frequency. This isn't about never working. This is about knowing when work becomes war against your own well-being. This is about recognizing that doing more doesn't always equal becoming more. This is about understanding that you are not behind. You're just being invited to move differently, to trust the timing, to trust the pull, to trust that sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is pause. Because guess what? Ease is not a detour. It's the direct route. And lazy might just be your soul asking you to stop sprinting toward things you never even asked for. You don't need to prove your worth with burnout. You don't need to grind your way into greatness. You were born valuable. So rest, soften, say no, delegate, disappear, and recharge if you must. Let them call it lazy. You'll call it sovereignty. Stay in flow. Chapter 8. The Sovereign Reset. You've heard the rant. You've felt the truth in your bones. Now let's bring it home, into the body, into the breath, into the blueprint. This is the moment we shift from knowing to anchoring. Because transformation doesn't happen in your head, it happens in your habits, in your responses, in the moments no one sees, where the old pattern knocks and you choose not to answer. So let's begin. Breathe with me. Inhale deeply, slowly, like you're reclaiming your time. Exhale like you're releasing the inherited hustle. Again. Inhale, fill up with sovereignty. Exhale, drain the need to prove. This is a different oxygen now. This is ease, flowing into your bloodstream. Let it rise. What did they teach you? That busy means successful? That rest is earned? That slow is unsafe? Now ask yourself, who benefits when I'm too tired to dream? Who profits from my exhaustion? Who am I when I stop chasing? Let the answers sit in your chest, and let this truth override them. I am not the worker, I am the well. You are the source, not the system. Pull out your pen, your notes app, your soul's inbox. It's time to get honest. Where in my life am I mistaking movement for momentum? What does rest feel like in my body? Do I resist it or receive it? What would a lazy, joy-filled, aligned day actually look like for me? What sacred thing could I create if I stopped managing other people's expectations? Pause here. Feel it. Don't just write, please don't just write. Witness what rises. This is the calm revolution. Close your eyes. Picture a version of you who is wildly magnetic, deeply at peace, and beautifully lazy. They don't rush. They don't beg. They don't sacrifice their nervous system for a paycheck. They attract. They rest. They still rise. See them, walking through life like the wind follows them, because it does. Watch how life opens for them. Slowly, luxuriously, inevitably. That version is you. Not someday. Now. All you had to do was stop fighting the flow. The ancient ones didn't grind. They observed. They trusted the cycles. They flowed with the stars, not against them. They knew. Nature never rushes, and yet everything gets done. So take this wisdom, wrap it around your life like silk, and remember, you are not lazy. You are just done suffering for results. You are the frequency, and the field is listening. Flow in purpose. Rise in profit. Chapter 9. Not lazy, just misunderstood. Let me leave you with this. You were never lazy. You were layered. You were listening. You were tired of carrying blueprints that never fit the architecture of your soul. They told you discipline was the key, but forgot to mention alignment was the lock. They sold you grind when you came here to glide. But here you are now, unlearning, unraveling, unfolding into something softer and smarter. Because the truth is, you don't win by working harder. You win by working wiser, by trusting the invisible just as much as the visible, by becoming so in tune with your energy that the world shifts before you lift a finger. That's not magic, that's mastery. So let this book be your permission slip to slow down, to recalibrate, to be the vibration before you chase the outcome. You are the cause, reality is the effect, and babe, it's listening. You don't have to grind for your worth. You don't have to exhaust yourself into excellence. You don't have to prove that you're enough. You already are. Now let life respond to that truth. This has been Temple of Flow, written and voiced by Governor Flow. Ancient truths, modern magic. Stay in flow with purpose. Governor Flow.